family thing. And we have a wonderful topic: the frequency of love.
I like this topic. I think this is a very important topic because understanding frequencies, and in particular, the frequency of love, is essential to our ability to create more positive and fulfilling experiences, not only in our lives, but certainly in our love life.
Mhm. And for some, this may be an easy concept to understand, but for some, especially any skeptics out there, there will be, um, what is it? There will be break this down scientifically for you. That doesn't make sense. So we will break this down scientifically for you.
Oh, spell check. It comes when we try to
Yeah.
write up our notes. We write
Yeah,
them up
it's not my
fast.
fault, y'all. There's some spell check issues in these things. If y'all see me struggling a little bit, so bear with us. Thank you.
Our notes, our notes. We a lot of our topics cover a whole lot, especially this one in particular. So, like my husband was saying, as we break this down scientifically and in a more lower way, so that not lower, but more of a easier way to understand, it requires lots of notes. But in particular, if you are a skeptic, I really challenge you to open your mind to the reality that love is a frequency, and you can certainly tap into that frequency and experience it for yourself. But if you are already a believer, which we sure hope you are, we're going to also offer some tips for you to actually be able to raise your love frequency even higher.
So let's start with the basics at the subatomic level. So everything in the universe is made up of energy. So even seemingly solid objects are actually made up of tiny particles that are consistently moving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
And
so,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
You go.
The frequency of this vibration varies depending on the type of particle and the state of being.
Yeah.
So, for example, a photon of light vibrates at much higher frequency than an electron, and a heated object vibrates a higher frequency than a cold object.
Mm-hmm. Breaking it down on a more science level, physical level, so that we can think about things that we see. But also, our thoughts and emotions and our bodies also vibrate at certain frequencies. So, of course, I don't know if some of you have heard, but positive thoughts and emotions such as love, joy, and compassion certainly vibrate much higher than those lower vibrational thoughts
Mm-hmm.
and things, emotions such as fear, anger, sadness, all of that.
Yeah, and in particular, the frequency of love is measured in 528 hertz. So this
Mm-hmm.
frequency is part of a set of frequencies known as the solfeggio.
Yeah, solfeggio frequencies. Yeah.
Solfeggio frequencies. So we will elaborate on these specifically later, but they are known for having healing and transformative properties.
Mm-hmm. And so, like the love frequency, which we're going to get into a lot tonight, is of what they call the 528 hertz, but in particular, they call that the miracle tone. And it's also known to actually repair your DNA. So that's a really great thing that we're going to talk about how you can actually get into this. But it is also said to promote healing, emotional, and spiritual healing. This is old, ancient knowledge, long before me and my husband and a lot of other things. But these are known ancient tools that have been utilized by civilizations for a long, long time. And in fact, I think we're coming into new earth to where we're actually starting to utilize this more and more now within our own realities now. So there is plenty of scientific evidence to really support that the 528 hertz frequency of love really does have a positive effect on the human body. For example, one study found that listening to 528 hertz music can reduce stress and anxiety. Another study found that 528 hertz music can also improve your sleep quality.
So this frequency of our vibration has a significant impact on
Mm-hmm.
our overall well-being.
Mm-hmm.
So when you vibrate at a high frequency, you are more likely to feel happy, healthy, and fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
So when you vibrate at a low frequency, you are more likely to experience negative emotions and physical symptoms. So,
Yeah.
think of frequency. You talk about low, we talk about like bass. Listen to your music, real bassy bass music, that's a lower frequency. And then high frequencies are like chimes and um, you know, high pitched noises. So
Right.
those are high frequencies. So
Right.
for the layman terms out there, so you have a better understanding of what we're talking about.
Yeah, and it's no coincidence, for just to even put it even more on a relatable scale, it's no coincidence that, people turn on low bass vibrational music when they're going out and trying to, commit, atrocities. It happens because it certainly does get you into that mood. Also, in a more experience that I first really came into terms with when you used to DJ back the college days and stuff like that, and we would go to parties. It was so easy to see how whenever you turned on like the crunk music, the thug music, all that, the type of music, the fighting music, it would really make people do that, and it would pop off. Like could really end really bad. And it was funny because you ended up having to adjust your set so that you made sure not to play lower vibrational music right before people were about to leave, because chances of a fight breaking out or gunshots or something happening.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
all of that really is lower vibrational, to be honest with you, regardless if it's R&B or, slow music, because it's talking more so of the pitch. So that changes from the beats per minute and then also to the sounds of the bass. A lot of our music is bassy. So it really doesn't consider any type of benefit of listening to it other than just being a hobby or the type of music you're listening to.
Yeah.
But here we're talking about more like a wind chime, those type of noise, or like tuning fork pitches and things like that.
Yeah.
Those are the operational frequencies in which the love vibrations, the healing, and all of those things occur. Think of like a bird whistle, like birds whistling and chirping and things like that. Those are the higher frequency pitches as well. So just to put it in perspective. So the frequency of our vibration also has a significant impact on our love life. So commonly talked about with the law of attraction is when you vibrate at a high frequency. So you are more likely to attract and maintain loving relationships. So these are the people who are more likely to be compatible with you, who are more likely to be more compatible with you, and who you are more likely to be happy and fulfilling relationships with.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was a lot.
Yeah. That's
high frequency people.
Yeah. Yeah. And on the other hand, when you vibrate at a lower frequency, of course, you are more likely to, again, hit on that law of attraction thing that goes around, to experience those negative impacts, those negative experiences within your love life. So those are more so people that are going to come into your life that are going to be really incompatible with you, and you are more likely to have those negative experiences as well. So for example, you might attract somebody who is abusive or who is unfaithful, all because of, vibrating on a lower vibrational frequency. And also too, even if you're already in a relationship, you are also more likely to experience conflict and drama in your relationship. So it's just really important to remember that also when you are vibrating at a higher frequency, you feel good about yourself, right? And you also believe that you are worthy of love. This is a natural result. This naturally is going to make you more attractive to others, and it can also make you more likely to put yourself out there in relationships. But if you are vibrating at a lower frequency, then you may not feel good about yourself, right? Or even others at that matter. And you also may not believe that you are worthy of love, or getting back onto those skeptics we were talking about earlier, you may not even believe that it's possible to have a loving relationship in this day and age. That's lower vibrational frequency. This is also more likely to make you less attractive, and certainly is going to make you less likely to go out there and pursue those romantic relationships.
What is that frequency again? The love vibrational frequency is
528 hertz.
528. So I downloaded a frequency 529.
Yeah, it's so many. We're going to get into actually some ways of there's so many ways of being able to listen to these vibrations. You can wear crystals and pendants and jewelry that resonate at this vibration. You can, of course, you mentioned the tuning forks and sounding boards, all sounding bowls.
It won't let me get to it.
All of those things are super easy. It's so many different ways of you being able to tap into these frequencies. Are you playing it?
Yeah.
That's like 529. Yeah. Yeah, it's very, very high.
I get it.
Play it in your mic. Maybe you too could hear it.
I got to pause our video. But yeah, they will be able to hear it.
Don't want to hurt nobody's ears now.
No, I don't hurt.
Oh, it's not too loud. Yeah, so that is the frequency that we're talking about as far as on a scientific level, what that actually sounds like, because it really does exist. So also, when you are vibrating at that, high frequency, you are also more likely to feel love, joy, and compassion towards your spouse within your relationships. You are also more likely to be forgiving and understanding. And this certainly helps to create a more positive and supporting environment for your relationship to grow and thrive in.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's just a hint. So, that's like a life hack. So, try that. Download a frequency player if you're having some issues around your house, and then see if things improve as far as your love life and relationship.
Yeah, and we're even going to get into the specific 9 solfeggio frequencies that you can actually utilize that are specifically, I think it's like 620. I got it wrote down in my notes. We'll get to it. But one in particular is great for healing relationships, and we're going to certainly talk about that later. But
Okay, so when you are vibrating at a low frequency, you may be more likely to feel fear, anger, and resentment towards your spouse. So you may also be more critical and judgmental. This can create a negative and toxic environment for your relationships.
yeah.
So it's kind of like, those scary movies, and they bring those low frequency music in there. It makes you feel afraid and
like
scared
something about to happen.
Yeah.
Or
So-
like if you're just naturally, you had a bad day, right? And things are just you're not feeling good within yourself, and you go home, it's more likely that unless you talk to your spouse about it and connect with your spouse and try to tune yourself in a different frequency, then you're more likely to, create a toxic environment at home and bring those energies home with you, because it's kind of, it's on you, it sticks with you. This is why, again, it's very important that you don't just shower every day for, cleansing benefits, as certainly recommended, but also for cleansing of your energies and your spirit. That's really, really important. And water is a excellent cleanser, so we certainly recommend doing that.
Your past experiences can have a significant impact on your ability to raise the frequency of love. So if you have experienced a lot of negative emotions in your past, it can be difficult to raise your frequency to the level of love. So you may carry subconscious beliefs and patterns that prevent you from fully opening up your heart and receiving love.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you have been abandoned or rejected as a child, you may have developed a belief that you are unloved, some sort of trauma. So this belief can make it difficult to attract and maintain loving relationships. Another way that the past can impact your ability to raise the frequency of love is through your attachments. So when you are attached to people, places, or things, we are essentially saying that our happiness depends on them. This can create a sense of lack and fear, which can lower your frequency.
Yeah, this is why it's really important to understand how frequencies operate, because your love life is a direct reflection of your frequency, believe it or not. So what's even more important to understand out of all of this that we're talking about is that you have the ability to change your experience by changing your energy. So if you really want to improve your love life, you need to start by raising your frequencies. That's what we're going to get all into tonight.
Right. And then when we talk about energies, we're not talking about sleep.
Yeah.
We're not talking, you need sleep, but we're not talking about those things. We're talking about the sound waves, those feelings, those emotions.
Where you're resonating at.
Right.
Yeah.
So this starts with first by paying attention to your most dominant thoughts and feelings, because they can give you a good indication of your frequency. When you are vibrating at a high frequency, your dominant self or thoughts and feelings will be positive and loving. So when you are vibrating at a low frequency, your dominant thoughts and feelings will be negative and hurtful and fearful.
Yeah. So a great exercise that we like to do within our Wifeconomics course in particular is to spend a day or two journaling your most dominant thoughts. It doesn't have to be, I often say, don't make it, long paragraphs. You're not writing down paragraphs. You're just writing out dominant thoughts, dominant feelings throughout the day. How do you feel all throughout the day? But in particular, if you don't have as much time to do something like that, there's a very simple exercise that I commonly recommend to the wives within my program is to take a moment, take a few deep breaths. This can be utilized by anybody, but just find that time to center yourself. And then you wait for that thought to come. What is the next natural thought? Don't force a thought. Don't, try to make yourself think anything, but just allow yourself to be and see what thought comes up. So notice those qualities of your thoughts and your feelings that just naturally arise from your being. Are they positive and loving, or are they more fearful? I mean, thoughts of love, joy, and gratitude, and even compassion, and feelings of, happiness, peace, joy, excitement, contentment. Those are all high frequency thoughts and feelings. But when you get into, like, if you're having thoughts of like fear or anger or resentment, jealousy, or even feelings of like sadness, anxiety, loneliness, frustration, all of those things are very low vibrational thoughts and feelings. So if these are, your most dominant thoughts, then you just have to take note of it. This isn't a moment to judge yourself. We're not saying, oh no, beat yourself up or think down, because it's actually quite common for your thoughts and your feelings to fluctuate throughout the day. We all have that, right? We're all going to have sometimes, depending on our circumstances, what we're experiencing, whether or not we're going to feel, negative thoughts or feelings. So it's not a time to judge yourself, but it is a time to bring into awareness what are your most common thoughts and feelings, so that then you can make conscious choices to raise that and to change that, because that is really going to help you to impact how you bring in more positive experiences within your life.
So when you catch yourself having a negative thought or feeling, don't try and force it out your mind.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to feel it, let it be, but offer it a positive response that challenges it.
Yeah. I often like to think of it as your mind is the sky, right? And your thoughts are clouds. You don't necessarily say that the cloud is the thought. I mean, that the cloud is, the sky, and that is yours. So if your mind is the sky, don't attach to those thoughts and think, oh, they're mine, but in a way, kind of detach them and allow them to pass through like a cloud would in the sky. So then that way you're able to then sit back and observe it and figure out, hey, is this something I want to, resonate with me, to actually hold on to? Or is this something that I'm actually looking to replace with something more positive? Allow it to be, though. You don't want yourself to try to, like you said, force it out and be like, oh no, I'm thinking something negative. Because then ultimately that feeling within itself is going to make you reach for another negative thought. So instead, actually challenge that. If it's something like, hey, I'm not worthy of love, challenge that by saying, oh no, somebody today just told me that, they liked me, they loved me, they thought I was nice, they thought, they offered me some love and support. Offer something that's going to challenge that, so then your mind is able to then reach for something else.
It is also good to surround yourself with people who will also help you to challenge your negative dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
So when we are surrounded by people who believe in us and support us, we start to believe in ourselves more also.
Mm-hmm.
So this can help us to challenge our negative self-talk and replace it with more positive thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we surround ourselves with people who are grateful for the good things in their lives, it helps us to also focus on the good things in our lives as well.
Yeah.
So this can help us to have a more positive outlook on life and reduce our negative self-talk.
Mm-hmm.
And then also as well, when we are consistently hearing positive things from other people, it starts to rub off on us.
Mm-hmm.
So we start to think more positively about ourselves and the world around us. This is why it's important to limit your intake of negative people, entertainment, social media, etc.
Yeah.
Music,
Mm-hmm.
especially music. All
Yeah.
of it. So,
yeah. That's so true. And, if you don't have positive people physically around you, that's okay too. But you really do have to actively seek out things that are going to offer you that positive information, that positive feedback. So, the internet is a great way to utilize that. You can watch or listen to things that are quite inspiring, things that offer you good information, that help you to actually feel good about yourself and others, because that's an important thing too. You have to pay attention to how other people are talking about other people, because that rubs off on your perception of the world, which we had a whole video, I think last week. Was it last week or week before last? I don't know.
Perception.
About perception.
2
Perception
weeks
is
ago.
huge. Yeah, perception is really huge. So if you're constantly listening to people that are giving you negative perceptions about the world around you, you in turn are going to internalize this and start to think that, oh, this
The
is
sky's
something,
falling.
yeah, and that, this is things that are going to happen for you. But that doesn't have to be your reality. You have the ability to create your reality, in particular by paying attention to the perceptions that you hold about life in general, the world in general. So please seek out things that are going to help you to feel good about yourself, think good about yourself and others, and in particular, like our channel. So thank you all for tuning in tonight. This is a great way for you to utilize and take in valuable information that hopefully will help you to raise your vibration, to raise your frequency to a higher love vibration and frequency, and help you to see the brighter things and the brighter side of life, because there's enough information out there to steer you the other way. But that's why we certainly created our channel, to really hope to counterbalance that, counteract all of that, because
Right.
yeah.
And then, for example, I was told this before, if you watch the news, and if you watch all of the news, it's also mostly negative. And they do that on purpose too.
Yeah.
So if you want to do your own research about that, you may, but it holds you in a lower vibration. Hearing one negative story after another, you just wake up in the morning, watch the news, and realize, oh man, it's just a bad day to get out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
in turn, it can create that for yourself. Yeah.
And that is one of the mechanisms of media that they use in order to change your frequency onto theirs.
Yeah, and even social media, like, right, when you wake up in the morning, you look smooth at your phone and you see all this negative stuff, you're in turn gonna, take that in and start to think,
internalize.
Yeah, certainly. So you got to be mindful of what you do, in particular within the first 10 minutes of your day. Do you take the time to calibrate to something that's going to offer you the ability to have a great day, to offer you things that are going to, latch onto you, to help you to create happy, loving, positive feelings and thoughts within yourself? Or do you reach for something that's probably going to bring you down? You got to be mindful of that. We're not saying that you don't have to, be involved in the world. It's certainly okay. We live in reality, right? You got to interact with other people and other things, but be mindful. Everything is okay in moderation. So please be mindful of that.
You can also utilize the 9 solfeggio. Solfeggio.
You're right.
Frequencies as a way to tune your mind and body. So all you have to do is listen to them. They can be found all over the internet, especially YouTube. I just played some now on my phone.
Yeah.
A couple of minutes ago. You can download the apps. They exist and they're free.
Yeah.
So
specifically.
Yep. And so number one, the 174 hertz frequency can relieve pain, stress, and enhance concentration. It's been said to provide a sense of security to the organs in the body and is particularly beneficial when it comes to pain in the lower back, feet, and legs. So the 185th hertz frequency can help. 285th hertz frequency can help treat minor injuries and wounds in the body. It's said to help fix damage to the organs and repair cells.
Yeah, this is ancient sound healing. It's a real thing. It's honestly true, and it really does help. In fact, even it goes down to colors, right? Certain colors resonate on a certain frequency and can be able to be utilized for healing. So for those in particular struggling with loss, 396 hertz is the most beneficial for that, because it's the frequency that can really help you eliminate feelings of guilt and fear and grief. Also, the 417th hertz frequency marks the start of new beginnings. So this is removing negative energy from the body. It's great from cleansing the home, the office. I know y'all have heard of like people saging their house. Well, you can actually play music that can cleanse the environment in your house, in your home, in your office, all around you, to help, bring the frequencies up and cleanse out any negative energies you don't want around you.
So remember, the 528 hertz frequency is the love frequency with a profound effect on our well-being. So this frequency can activate imagination, intention, and intuition. It's said to also awaken spirituality.
Yeah.
The 639th hertz frequency can promote connection and repair turbulent relationships with friends, family, and the community around you. So play
Yeah.
that if you are having a family gathering and you want to make sure that everything stays copacetic
Yeah.
and peaceful.
Yeah, or even after an argument. That was what we were actually talking about earlier, where within your relationships, if you want to actually utilize sound around you to, if you know you and your spouse are having a little fussing, a little argument, and you guys just aren't, aligning, you can actually turn on music. Commonly, if you think about, like, sometimes people turn on love songs or like their favorite songs that make
Well,
them feel good.
that's not the same as the hertz
Well, the
frequency.
hurts, but yeah, but just
Love,
saying
yeah,
commonly,
loves
yeah.
those songs are more than likely are lower vibration, so they're
Depending,
lower than
yeah.
these
Yeah, yeah,
hertz
yeah. That's true. Depending,
because
but
of
specifically,
the
yeah.
beats per minute.
Yep, that's true. But specifically, if you really want to utilize the hertz, like you were saying, 528 hertz is the frequency. I mean, 639 hertz is
For
the frequency
example,
for that.
for those parents that are out there, have you all played R&B music that you
Mm.
love in front of your babies and your little children, car seat toddlers? What they do, no matter, even if it's a nice love song, they start crying. Like once they
Some
hear
of
it,
them, yeah,
yeah,
certain
once they
ones.
hear
Yep.
it. So that's what that's about. So
Yeah,
it's a lower
that's true.
vibration, so it puts them in a mood of wanting to cry.
Yeah, and classical music. We do playtime with our kids. Classical music is played in the background, and it helps them to they kind of like their mind, because of, in particular, their brain waves are operating more in, I think children operate more in theta brain waves until the age of 8, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
But nonetheless, in particular, with that, they're able to resonate to the frequency that's being played around them, and it actually helps them to be more calm, and it'll help like stop some of those quarrels that can happen between siblings. So that's a parent hack for any parents out there as well. But certainly, again, like we were saying, 639 hertz is the frequency that can help repair relationships. So certainly be able to utilize that.
For intuition and problem solving, for those thinkers out there who are needing some extra help and a hack, the 741st hertz can be deeply beneficial. It can help provide mental clarity and also be used to help those struggling with chronic pain.
Mhm.
852 hertz is the frequency to rebalance your spirituality. It'll help you reconnect or connect to the universe and your own consciousness on a deeper level.
Yep.
So the highest of the 9 main frequencies, 963 hertz, is known as the frequency of the gods. So it can create room for oneness and unity with the spiritual world.
Yeah, these are real, actual frequencies that have been long used and studied. So please take the time to research this and see how they can really work for you in your life. Like we were saying, you can meditate to these frequencies, you can chant, you can sing. Some people sing in these frequencies, which is a beautiful thing. They use tuning forks or sound bowls to produce those frequencies. And there's actually jewelry that can be worn that will hold these frequencies and help to raise them within your body. So it's all types of ways that you can actually utilize different frequencies to benefit yourself. But in particular, back onto the frequency of love, we really want to leave you with some tips on how you can utilize this frequency of love to actually help heal yourself and your relationships. So, first, kind of like we mentioned earlier about when it comes to your past attachments and all those other different things, it is super important that in order for you to raise yourself to the frequency of love, you go ahead, release your attachments, and learn to trust and know that you are worthy of love and abundance in that matter too. So certainly go back, heal your past wounds, heal those traumas, forgive yourself and for those who have hurt you, so that then you're able to release all of that and come up to the higher vibration of love. There was a quote that I heard, I think it was a couple of days ago, and it was so beautiful. It was just saying how love connects us to the eternity. And that is so true. There is no way to really reach that eternalness until you have let go of like all of those traumas, those past hurts, those limiting beliefs, right? Those things that, even some things that you naturally just adopted out of childhood, being able to take the time and heal yourself from that really opens you up to being able to experience the vibration of love. Because truth be told, fear and love, often say this, it cannot resonate together. It's just two totally different frequencies. They cannot exist within your being at the same time. So if you're really trying to reach for that love that you want to have, experience that loving relationship you want to have, you have to let go of those fearful thoughts, those fearful attachments, those fearful limiting beliefs of yourself and even others, in order for you to really be able to open your perception up to seeing how love can be created within your life. So please make sure that you take the time to heal yourself. And that's also really important for you to need to have a relationship. But, we talk about that on other days.
Yep. And focus on self-love and self-compassion.
Yeah.
So be kind to yourself, even when you make mistakes.
Yeah.
Treat yourself with the same love and respect that you would treat a loved one.
Yeah, this is naturally how you tap into those vibrations.
Yep.
You also got to forgive yourself for your past mistakes, right? So the past that you have done, you got to, everybody makes mistakes. We all, do some things that we're not quite proud of. But holding on to guilt and shame will only keep you from healing, and it just won't allow you to connect with and experience the love and the fullness that you really could experience it in. So forgive yourself and let go of the past.
And remember to practice positive self-talk.
Yeah.
So talk to yourself the way that you would talk to a loved one. So be supportive and encouraging to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Set healthy boundaries as well. So it's important to set boundaries with yourself and others. So this means saying no to things that you don't want to do and stand up for yourself when you need to.
Yeah, and this can be hard. I know this was one thing for me that to come over. Yeah.
All those people out there that let people run all over them and you bend over for people who don't do anything for you. Stop that.
Yeah, it doesn't make you feel good. And honestly, in order for you to feel love, you got to feel good. So do those things that are going to make you feel good. And if it don't make you feel good, don't do it. It's okay to say no. And you owe that to yourself. Don't allow yourself to not feel good for the sake of somebody else. It's just not worth it.
And take care of your physical and mental health. So eat healthy foods, get regular sleep, and get enough sleep. Exercise as well.
Mm-hmm.
I missed that one. And then also to drink your water. So also find healthy ways to manage stress, such as meditation or yoga as well.
Yeah, cleanse your water too, since you mentioned water. Certainly take the time to cleanse your water. It's lots of different ways that you can do that. Sugarnight, activated charcoal. It's a whole bunch of ways, but please take the time to do that as well. And meditate on love. You want to make sure that you spend time each day meditating on love. That's something that you actually want to experience in your life. When you choose to meditate and visualize yourself being surrounded by love and light and actually feeling love and light within yourself, you're aligning yourself to the reality of and the timeline in particular of yourself experiencing that in the physical reality. The first step to experiencing anything is to first feel it within yourself, because that feeling actually does connect you to that moment to where you are actually receiving that love that you want to experience. So please take the time to do that. It may sound a little cliche, but come on now, this is the energetic world and this is 2023. We all know that energies is so important. So you got to learn to master your energies within yourself and master your brain and master your thought. And that's only really done through meditation. So take the time to learn that and utilize that.
So for the relationships, set loving intentions for your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Before you interact with your spouse, set loving intentions. So for example, you could intend to be more patient, understanding, and compassionate for them.
Yeah.
So then act on those intentions by being supportive and encouraging of your spouse, and let them know that they are there, that you are there. That you are there for them and that you believe in them as well.
Yeah. And another note in particular, this is most important when you're actually having those disagreements, you're having those conflicts with your spouse. When you are looking to approach some type of conflict or bring up some type of, disagreement or anything, please set that intention to resolve that conflict. Don't set the intention on, I'm just gonna tell my spouse off. Yeah, don't do that. That's all that's gonna come from that. You're gonna just tell your spouse off. You're gonna be mean, you're gonna be hateful. That is not the energy that's needed in order for you to move forward in your relationship. So please set the intention that, hey, I intend to understand where my spouse is coming from and to actually figure out things that we could do to resolve this conflict, to not live in this conflict anymore. Intentions matter all throughout life. So please be sure to do that within your relationship.
And practice loving communication as well. So when
Yeah.
you communicate with your spouse, speak from a place of love,
Yeah.
even during those tough arguments.
Yeah.
So communicate honestly and openly with your spouse, and be honest with them about your feelings and needs. Listen to your spouse and try to understand their perspective as well,
Hmm.
and avoid using accusatory. I'm sorry, accusor. I'm sorry.
Accusatory, yeah, accusatory. You said it right.
Avoid using language in which you're accusing or blaming them.
It's late,
I'm
y'all.
sorry, it's real late. I've been up very early this morning. So instead, focus on expressing your feelings and needs in a loving and respectful way.
Yeah. Yes, for sure.
Accusatory.
Yes, that is it.
There you go.
We do this late at night, but we still show up for y'all, even when we're not 100%. So just imagine when we're doing this show during the daytime and how on point
Yep.
we're going to be. But good job.
So express your love and gratitude for your spouse. So tell them how much you love them and appreciate them. So both verbally and physically.
Yeah,
And
yeah. That's the quickest way to actually, I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no
But that's the quickest way to actually reach the vibration of love is through gratitude. So certainly show your spouse that you're thankful for them, grateful for them all the time.
Right. But what we're telling you all tonight, those frequencies help both of you to connect on that level
Of love.
so that you
Yep.
both are equally on that vibration and frequency, able to open up and communicate.
Yeah, and it gets
That's the
easier
hack.
over time. Yeah.
That's a life hack. If you're in a situation of arguing, reach for your phone and grab that frequency.
Yeah,
then
no,
that'll
it
help.
works. Yeah, it really, really does work. Like, truth be told, I think of in all scenarios, like moms out there, like, you wake up, your kids wake up super, super early, right? And sometimes you got to hit the ground running. One thing that I've noticed to do in order to, help myself to resonate at a higher frequency when I'm maybe stressed out is to listen to those binaural beats, to meditate, to find that time to resonate yourself with that frequency. So then that way it makes it easier for you. And that's okay. Sometimes it's not the easiest to just go into this. And certainly if you know that, you may be upset with your spouse or, feeling, you had a bad day or something like that. When you actively seek out things that are going to help you, then it makes it easier for you to, do those things and actually to get the results that you actually want in your life.
And be willing to forgive your spouse. So everyone makes mistakes. So if your spouse makes a mistake, be willing to forgive them. Holding on to anger and resentment will only damage your relationship and create, what do you call it? Resentment and also to competition within your relationship. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
You don't want to do those things. It only tears you apart.
Yeah. So practice forgiveness like you want to forgive yourself. Practice that towards your spouse. Your spouse isn't perfect, like you said. So, and you're not perfect. So being okay with that and actually choosing and setting the intentions of, hey, I may be a little upset here, but I intend to forgive you. Give me a little bit of time, but I intend to forgive you. You saying those affirmations will help yourself, your mind, your thoughts, and everything to align to that intention and actually allow that to happen. But if you be like, hey, I'm intending to cuss you out about this, then, you're not really going to be able to resonate with the frequency of love. And it's just not going to work out that way.
And of course, spend quality time together. So make time to do things that you both enjoy.
Yeah.
This could involve going on a date, taking trips together, or simply spending time together, talking and connecting.
Yep.
And then also to send loving energy to your spouse. So throughout the day, send loving energy to your spouse, communicate with them, imagine a beam of love flow into their heart from yours.
Yeah, that's that's something that in particular, a note that I put is a thing that I actually practice and utilize within our life and have our whole life, just a way of creating that energetic field of love around us and actually being able to support you in your dreams, in your future, and the things that you want to do. So see your spouse. I think we talked about this last week too, but kind of see your spouse actually in the places where they're most happy, they're thriving. Seeing your spouse like that will help them to reach that state of alignment, as well as seeing yourself that way. See you and your spouse communicating in a great way. If you feel like you're going to go into a conflict and you don't know how this conversation is going to turn out, take the time to sit back and use the imagination that God has given you as a tool within your life to actually create that scenario within your mind first. This then opens up the attention, the alignment for it to actually happen within your reality. It's real, guys. Our thoughts really do create our realities. As much as, we try to think, oh, things are just happening, they're really not. It's the law of cause and effect. And often the cause is something that is not seen or is not known. And usually it has a lot to do with your inner thoughts, your inner beliefs. Those are usually the first causes of many of the effects that take place in our life.
And I think we offered a lot of valuable tips throughout this video on how you can use the frequency of love and to heal yourself and your relationship so that you can create a more loving and fulfilling connection with your spouse. So remember, by understanding how your frequencies affect your experiences, you can make changes that will align yourself with the most positive and loving experiences. And you deserve it.
Yeah.
So please leave us a comment about your own experiences with the frequency of love, especially if you have found these tips to be helpful for you.
Yeah, this is certainly a channel and a platform for you to, be able to utilize and connect with other people so that they can learn from your experiences as well. We're hoping that you all are learning from the experiences that we've had in our relationship and the things that we utilize. We've been together. Oh, our anniversary is coming up at the end of the month. 11 years. Long time together, even longer of being good friends and stuff together. We've known each other for a long time. So these are actually tried and true methods that we utilize in our life all the time. So we really do encourage you. That's why we created this channel, to help encourage you all to do these same things. I often like to say we are actually holding a frequency in particular that we hope to send off so that you guys can latch onto that and create the same thing within your life, because you really, really can. And we genuinely want you to. So be sure to share this message with other people as well so that they can also create the same things within their life.
Yep. Yeah, and we thank you all for coming out tonight. Are there any comments, questions, concerns, conundrums, problems, issues that you would like for us to discuss? This is a live call-in show, as always.
Yeah.
So I don't think we got anything. Do we have anything?
No, I don't think so. But thank you all.
Got a thumbs up.
Yeah, thank you all for joining us. We really do appreciate it. It's Monday, beginning of the week. Yep.
Yeah. So with that being said, Blueprint family, thank you all for joining us, and we hope that you all have a wonderful night, and we will see you all tomorrow, same time, same place. Tomorrow's election.
Yeah. Do your research.
Yep. Do your research and vote for the greater good of humanity, please. Thank you. So you all have a good night. Peace.